All right, everybody, welcome back to Villa Familia. It is Wednesday, May the 14th. Thank you for coming and joining us. We have made a ton of progress this week. We have upper floor walls going in. Exterior, I haven't even stepped foot inside of the house yet, so we're gonna get to see what's been going on together today. So upper floor walls are in. We are getting interior walls, I suspect, framed up as well. I can see that we've also got some folks down forming up the garage footings and foundation walls as well, although right now I just see footing work happening from here. Yeah, let's just jump in and take a closer look. Sometimes people ask us, how do we get these massive beams in place? So yes, while you can use a whole bunch of humans to move these things around, A, very difficult and requires a lot of people, and B, it's a little bit unsafe, right? I mean, these are extremely heavy pieces of lumber. So what we've got going on here, you know, it's probably a 300 or 400 pound beam. So rather than lift it and move it with hands, we bring in a hi-ab with a long boom on it, and we have a crane put them in place. And that just speeds everything up, saves people's backs, and make sure that we can just continue moving things forward. All right, we are now in the primary suite bedroom. So we've got these pieces of 2x4 here. We've talked about this on other projects, and the same thing happens here. This is shear wall blocking, right? So this is where we're gonna have nails 3 inches on center around the perimeter of the sheet of plywood, and we're gonna have nails 6 inches on center in the studs, or in the field, so to speak. Up here, we are getting all of the exterior walls ready to go. We confirmed truss measurements yesterday. So in order for walls to be straight, you gotta snap chalk lines. And so the framing crew is here has already come through and snapped all the chalk lines. And we generally try to do that before we really set anything up, because then there's nothing in the way. So we can see here, there's gonna be a wall here eventually. Trying to see where else there's walls, and the team are building a wall over here. Now, one trend that we're seeing on job sites these days is a move away from corded tools, and most folks are using cordless tools. Now, in this particular case, we see a DeWalt power charger here. So hey, my friends at Milwaukee, we would love a sponsorship. Just hint, hint. We would love to have all red on our job sites. We put that out there for you. Give us Milwaukee and we will pimp your stuff out as hard as possible. Anyways, let's keep working. Cordless tools, it's kind of the way of the future. So the orange sweepy pipe that we have here is Conduit. That is gonna be for low voltage, I'm pretty sure. So that is gonna go all the way back here to the back of the house, and then there's either gonna be more conduit that goes to the pole in the back of the property here, or it'll get run underground some other way. But nonetheless, we need to have this inside of the house so that we can get our spray foam down onto the gravel and sand, and then put our concrete on top of that. So again, conduit, tech wire, and this is what the electricity will flow through into the house. So, you know, with Sprucehill, sometimes we'll do footings first and then foundations. In this particular case, our foundation walls are only gonna be 3 or 4 feet tall. And because of that, we can get away with just doing a monopore, because there's just not as much weight coming down on the footings. You know, when we're building a new home and it's got 11, 12 foot tall foundation walls, then we really wanna be pouring the foundation first, because without doing so, once you start pouring the walls, it's so easy for things to move up and down. And then you're left with like an inconsistent result for your pour strip or your pour line. And if your top of foundation wall undulates and goes up and down like the ocean, then your frame walls on top of that are gonna be messed up, and it just is cascading problems. So, you know, if you have a taller foundation wall, I would say, like, if you're going 5 feet or more, it's probably worth it to pour your footings first and then do your forming on top of that, just so that you can make sure that you get really, really great results for the top of foundation, which is such an integral part of any construction. We create what we call ladders in the industry. And so mean, the reason being is it looks like a ladder. You don't actually climb it. I mean, I guess we could like do a funny film and like I could lie on here and look like I was climbing it, but that'd just be dumb. Now, these are here for two reasons. Reason number one is to make sure that we get the correct width of footing, and the width of the footing, this width here, and the height of it, that's all determined by the structural engineer, and it's also going to be based off of what the geotechnical engineer says this soil can bear. Again, it's a per square foot bearing capacity. So, you know, the larger the load, the wider the footing gets. Also, the thickness of the footing can increase, you know, the larger the load getting put down on it. But this is a pretty simple, straightforward garage, so this is about as easy as it gets. The other thing this is used for is to put the bottom wailer on the form, and what that does is it gives you a place to nail the plywood into, right? So we've got rental forms here, we've got rebar here. The bundles of metal on top of the rental forms there are called wailer bar, and the team will be getting that stood up. And I would imagine by next week, this will be, actually, I'm not imagine, I know by this week, next week, this will all be ready for concrete by the same time. Thanks so much for joining us on our weekly adventure here at Villa Familia. If you would like to do a second story addition or any sort of renovation for that matter, please reach out to Sprucehill and our team will take exquisitely awesome care of you. In the meantime, like and subscribe this video, or like this video, I guess, and subscribe to our channel, please and thank you, or follow us if this is Instagram and Facebook. In the meantime, stay awesome. Thanks for watching.